to the very first workshop called NEUROCLIMA in Action. We will be today launching the NEUROCLIMA Forum, and we will be showcasing our digital tools that the technical partners have been working on. So without further ado, let me introduce you to what we will be doing today. So NEUROCLIMA is a Horizon-funded, an EU-funded project that is dedicated to enhancing behavioral change and community resilience through interdisciplinary collaboration and participatory methodologies. We integrate climate education, neuroscience, artistic expression, and this way we can open new avenues for inclusive, sustainable climate action. We are 15 partners in this Horizon project. You will be meeting most of us. I'm Cristina Deligiani from Trunic and Verimpact, along with my colleagues and partners from the other companies. We will be guiding you through the digital tools and through the forum. So before we start and before I give the floor to other partners, let me introduce you to the EU missions and climate change adaptation. The NEUROCLIMA project is part of the EU mission climate adaptation. And this is a very important topic because what happens is that EU mission on adaptation to climate change is one of the 5 missions that are large-scale initiatives under the Horizon Europe project. The missions are designed to tackle major global challenges that we face. They set clear, time-bound goals and bring together research, policy, stakeholders to drive innovation and deliver concrete solutions. The EU mission on adaptation to climate change was launched 4 years ago, actually, and it aims to support at least 150 European regions and communities towards climate resilience by 2030. So, the mission on adaptation is a very key initiative under the European Green Deal and the EU adaptation strategy. There are certain climate policies, there are certain funding instruments and opportunities, so strengthen Europe's preparedness and contributes to key EU priorities, including the Green Deal resilience objectives. The mission is also aligned with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, that is the UN 2030 agenda. And regarding the EU adaptation strategy, this is an initiative and a policy instrument that was adopted in 2021. It's a strategy that aims to make the EU climate resilient by promoting smarter, faster, and more systematic adaptation. It supports local and global actions to reduce climate risks and strengthen resilience across all sectors. So, the objectives of both the EU mission on climate adaptation and the EU adaptation strategy focus on understanding what the climate risks are, identify the current and future climate-related challenges specific to areas, to develop adaptation pathways, to create strategic plans and prepare for and manage the impacts of a changing climate, and implement innovative solutions. That is, deploy practical measures and technologies to enhance resilience on the ground. And with no further ado, I will be giving the floor to my colleagues, Beatrice Combo from Polymi, who is the coordinator of this project, and Stefanos Alevizos from IASIS, which is a Greek NGO dedicated to promoting resilience.
One moment, Cristina, before Beatrice can start and Stefanos, I have posted the link to the Google Lab, to our survey, and we have 2 questions that we would like the audience to answer before we move any further.
So yes, during this workshop and during the showcase of both the forum and the digital tools, you will be asked to answer some questions. So the idea is to make this session interactive. So the sales from my team has shared the link on in the chat. This is a survey. You can use your phones, you can use your laptop, your desktop to answer these questions. So in every little segment of the workshop and while we're showcasing the tools, you will be asked some survey questions. Please go ahead and start answering them. Thank you.
So, hello everyone. As Christina said, I'm Stefanos Alevisos, representing EAS NGO, a Greek NGO focusing on mental health and social inclusion here in Greece, an active member of NEUROCLIMA Consortium and NEUROCLIMA Solution. As Christina said, NEUROCLIMA's work is targeting to help people, in a very simple words, to help people to adjust to climate change. We work towards climate adaptation, climate change adaptation, and behavioral change. So one of the first questions that we have to answer, going further to our presentation, was why people in general, why people participate in such activities, how we can motivate people to participate and actively contribute to any kind of change, any kind of solutions that we would like to propose, and how this procedure of their participation is working. That's why the work package 3 was a work package focusing on these behavioral theories, behavioral change theories, and general the psychological, the theoretical and psychological aspect of our work in NEUROCLIMA. So, following a deep desk research, following qualitative research through interviews, structured interviews with policymakers and general participants of this active participants of climate change issues, we resulted in looking citizen participation through two main pillars, through a double lens. On one hand, we have the behavioral models. On the other hand, we have the systemic models, as you can see in the on the slide. The behavioral models somehow explain why and how people, general citizens, choose to get involved. We have detected four main theories: the theory of planned behavior, norm activation model, trans-theoretical model of change, self-determination theory. All of these theories are theories, and as a combination of theories, somehow explain why people choose to participate, choose to get involved in general in any kind of issues. We have theories that focusing and strengthening the fact that people want to participate depending on their personal attitude, social norms, and perceived control, mainly in the theory of the planned behavior. We have the norm activation model, one very, very interesting model that says that moral actions, the participations, starts when people realize the true nature of the problem, they recognize the problem, they feel responsible. Somehow they feel connected with the creation of the problem or the continuation of the problem, and at the same time they strongly believe that their actions matter, meaning that if they act, something will change. We have the trans-theoretical model that notes that behavioral change moves in stages, in different stages according to the problem. And we have the self-determination theory that says that a motivation for participation starts when, how can I say it, when the need of autonomy, competence and connection are met. All these models explain in what way to get involved to procedure for a solution of a problem. On the other hand, we have the systemic models explaining how these individual behaviors are shaped by a wider social and political context, meaning that our behavior are shaped by family, relationships, institutions, culture, cultural values, policies, institutions, general the community. So what is the goal for us? To to bridge the gap between this theory and the action, to bridge the individual with the collective, to connect these theories so as to have an active participation and an actual systemic change. On the other hand, moving forward, what is stressed in our work is that, as you can see, behavioral change is not something random, symbolic, something that it's fragmented or decorative. In order to have actual impact and a change, we need three main levels. The individual, even though I have put it in two bullets, actually there are three main levels. The individual motivation and behavior as depicted in the behavioral theories, and then we have the collective deliberation process and the systemic change at the level, not at the personal level, but at the level of institutions and policy. Through this, we result in an active citizen participation that we propose to be fair in order to have an actual impact, to be fair, meaning that every person of the community has equal chances to speak and influence somehow, have an impact on the decisions, to be transparent, meaning that we have clear processes and accessible information for people so as to act for change, and representative, meaning that we need democracy. Every member of the society, every group to be equally represented, to have a diversity of the society. This is what we want, to have a consultation that is not a box ticking, but an actual consultation and an actual participation that leads to behavioral change. And with this finale, I give the floor to my very, very good colleague, Beatrice from Polimi.
Thank you very much, Stefanos, for introducing this content, and thank you very much, Christina, for your kind introduction. And thank you all for being here, of course. So I will start from this takeaway that Stefanos has introduced to us and to contribute a little bit to this discussion in order to frame what we're doing here in the context of the NEUROCLIMA project and what we're going to do in the context of the forum. So as Christina has also mentioned, and also as Stefanos did, NEUROCLIMA is a project that leverages a lot of technological components for producing this behavioral change, and of course also for producing these individual motivation, these collective processes, and for supporting the systemic change. So, and you will see a lot today about that, but it's not climate change, and climate change adaptation is not just about technological fixes, of course, and automatic responses. And as Stefanos was saying, true adaptation requires systemic transformation, where communities can reflect on values, trade-offs, and long-term outcomes. These, of course, means using participatory approaches, citizen assemblies, digital visioning tools, co-design platforms, and other kind of tools that you will see in the next minutes. So that way, adaptation strategies can reflect experiences of people and the local priorities. At the same time, artificial intelligence, which is the elephant in the room in this moment, because we're just introducing artificial intelligence now, opens new opportunities. For instance, artificial intelligence-driven deliberative platforms can expand participation at scale, and of course can also provide tools for improving the understanding of deliberation and discussion that are happening in a specific place. And somehow, these kind of processes can help bridging what is the individual and collective climate action within a systemic frame, and support, of course, more inclusive and democratic governance. But of course, there are some challenges like digital literary gaps, stakeholder coordination, public trust. So our aim with the NEUROCLIMA project is that by integrating explainable and trustworthy AI, we can, let's say, provide a better understanding of what is the topic of climate change adaptation and drive people towards a behavioral change. Of course, we're not the first doing this in the world, but the way in which we're trying to do it, it's something different. So, of course, we can see that this is just a mapping of cases related to deliberation and climate adaptation that we have explored in the context of War Package 3, the one that Stefanos was presenting. And this map teaches us that technology alone does not guarantee participation, and participation alone does not guarantee scalability. So the real challenge is to bring them together, technology and participation and deliberation. And this is exactly the nexus in which where NEUROCLIMA is positioned, by creating an AI-enhanced system that connects the citizens, institutions, and policymakers in a meaningful way. This is exactly where NEUROCLIMA indeed comes in. So what we are creating is an AI-enhanced nervous system, which will be explainable and trustworthy for climate governance. The main goal of the NEUROCLIMA system is to connect in a kind of bidirectional flow citizen, institution, and policymakers. And here on the right of this slide, you will see a very diagrammatic representation of what we are offering and what we're going to test in our pilots in NEUROCLIMA. And the pills that you see colored are all the tools that we're going to use within our experimentation. And today, without going too much in detail, because I'm sure that our technical partner will describe exactly what is going to be to happen within the NEUROCLIMA system. But today I want to just focus a little bit more on the dialogue. Like you can see like some gray halos behind the dialogue pill. The dialogue pill is actually our NEUROCLIMA dialogues platform, which is the deliberative platform that will be also leveraged today for starting conversation in our forum. So what I've just presented here in NEUROCLIMA is not just our research project, is also a proposal for how we can structure collective discussion. And indeed, today's launch of the forum and activity is a small-scale experiment of this approach in order to connect individual voices into a shared system. And this, I thank you, and I leave the stage to the next speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you both, Stefan and Beatrice, for giving us an overview of what we are trying to do behind the scenes, because now our technical partners will be showing the digital tools that we have been working on for a long time. So we will be having a live demonstration of the tools. I will be giving the floor to Yannis Evstafeou, who is the Work Package 4 leader and a representative of Novelcore, a Greek company. Yanni,
thank you very much, Christina, and hi everyone. Thank you very much for joining. As Christina mentioned, I'm working for Novelcore. We are a technical partner of the project, and I would like now to share my screen, showing you the presentation. Please let me know if you can see. Is it visible? Thank you very much, Beatrice.
Yes.
So today I will be making an introduction to the MVP NEUROCLIMA toolkit. And with that, we mean 5 components so far. That would be the NEUROCLIMA bot, the NEUROCLIMA lens, the NEUROCLIMA learn, the NEUROCLIMA play, and deliberate, which is used for NEUROCLIMA dialogue purposes. Starting with the first one, that is the NEUROCLIMA bot. This is our conversational agent. That means the users engage in discussion through natural language. It has all these key features that you see here and are going to be showcased later in our demo. I would like to highlight a few at this point, the first one being the multilingual conversational interface that allows the users to interact in English, Italian, Greek, and Portuguese, as well as the fact that it is context-aware, domain-specific assistant. That means it is tailored for support for climate adaptation. That is the project's concept, using advanced natural language processing, understanding, and of course, LLMs, as well as it provides to the users the opportunity to give their feedback with upvotes, downvotes, and of course, it has other engagement tools, as we will see. The whole idea and the goal is that it is designed to provide decision-making and raise public awareness on climate change adaptation. The next one is the NEUROCLIMA Lens, that is a semantic search engine up to this point, which means that the users perform search queries within this environment, while at the same time they have various filtering options, as we will see, sorting options, as well as a comprehensive list view of search results, which preview option of individual results if they wish to do so. Another highlight here is what you see on my left-hand side on the bottom of the UI. That is the knowledge graph, which provides a semantic picture, so to speak, as to what is it that is going on within the related document to the user query, providing information for all of the inner entities and connections between them, as well as, of course, information about their properties. The next one is the NEUROCLIMA Learn, which is a very flexible, as we will see later, learning management system platform. There are courses which become creative tools for climate action. It refers to journalists, policymakers, and citizens who can all host their courses within this platform. And the goal, again, is to build a climate resilient community together. In NEUROCLIMA Play, we have this very interesting collection of 6 interactive learning modules, which are digital. We have features such as topic introduction, learning content, of course, story characters, and fun quizzes, as we will see, which can be used by educators as well as learners. And the goal here is this engagement through storytelling experiences and multimedia content. Last but not least, I will be showcasing Deliberate, which is used for NEUROCLIMA dialogue purposes. Deliberate is a deliberation platform, as the name suggests, where the users can post their feedback on various topics that have been created by the policymakers, and there they can also upvote, downvote, or even reply to particular responses. Deliberate is an AI-augmented platform. That means there are many AI components inside, such as, for example, argumentation mining, in order to provide a more insightful output of the discussion to the users. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yanni, for giving us an overview of the digital tools that we have been working on. And I will be sharing a link by our colleague Prasasti, who has been working on the digital tool, the bot. So what the bot is and how we can use it. Marina will also be sharing the presentation in our in the chat. And let me just share my screen, and you let me know if it works. Hopefully it will, because Prasasti could not be with us today. She's traveling for a conference. So is it working? Is the sound okay?
I cannot see anything, so I'm guessing no one can see something.
I can see the video, but I don't hear anything.
We cannot hear, yes.
Okay, let me just try doing that again. Mm,
I think there might be some option in Teams to share your audio from your computer. I'm not sure exactly.
I don't think so, but Marina can share it in the chat. Tassos, can you share it from your screen? Because I don't think I can do it.
Let me try. I get the link first.
Because I'm using two screens and I'm afraid it doesn't really work well with my audio.
I think I have it. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Today, I'm showing you NEUROCLIMA, our AI chatbot built for climate conversations. This project gets funding from the European Union and helps people understand climate topics better. Here's the main page. You can see our bot logo on the left side. Users have several options to customize their experience. First, you can change languages. We support 4 languages: English, Italian, Portuguese, and Greek. This makes our bot accessible to people across Europe. Next, users pick their reading level. We have 2 modes. Easy reading uses simple words that anyone can understand. Advanced reading works better for experts and researchers. We added a feedback form so users can tell us how to improve the bot. This helps us make the system better over time. There's also a user dashboard. It shows interesting statistics like which languages people use most. Users can see popular questions, trending documents, and common keywords. At the bottom, we have privacy information and logos from our partner organizations. This work was developed by the Future Computing Research Group within Ubiquitous Computing at the University of Oulu. Let me ask a simple question to show how it works. You can see the loading animation while the system processes your question. This gives users feedback that something is happening. Here's our answer. The system found that 91.3% of the information matches your question. In the reference section, you can see source documents ranked by how relevant they are. Users can click these links to check the original documents. This is important because AI systems can make mistakes. Users should always verify the information. This answer includes social tipping point analysis. Our system can identify when climate topics relate to social changes in communities. Let me continue the conversation by asking about agricultural organizations. When we ask follow-up questions, previous references get hidden to keep the interface clean. Users can still expand them if needed. This design keeps conversations clean. You can see the response loading with its animation effect. Looking at the right side, the system displays social tipping point information relevant to your question. Right underneath, you'll find an Explore button for accessing the interactive knowledge graph. Here's our knowledge graph visualization using Microsoft GraphRag. You can see all the entities and their relationships. This helps users understand how different climate topics connect to each other. Users can expand this to full screen or switch to 3D view for better visualization. Every response comes with 4 useful buttons. You can copy the text, listen to it using our text-to-speech feature.
The Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, plays a crucial role.
Or give feedback with the like and dislike buttons. The system has automatic session management. You can see the active session counter in the header showing 10 minutes. This timer only counts down when users aren't interacting with the interface. A pop-up notification appears in the final minute as a warning. After timeout, users get redirected to the home page and their session data gets cleared for privacy. Refreshing the page will also bring you back to the main page. Now let me show the admin dashboard. This is where we manage the system. Here you can see all processed documents. Each document shows its name, storage bucket, and processing status. We can see if we've created chunks, summaries, and knowledge graphs for each document. Admins can process documents individually or process entire buckets at once. The system logs show all activity. We also have health monitoring that tracks each system component. In the feedback analysis section, we review user like and dislike count. Administrators can navigate to Langfuse to see comprehensive traces. This shows exactly how the system works through each question and builds its responses. This section displays every question users have asked the bot, both conversation starters and follow-up messages. Clicking on any query reveals a step-by-step view of how our backend services processed that question. You can see what data went into each service, what came out, and exactly how long each step took to execute. NEUROCLIMA empowers informed decisions with fast, evidence-based answers and real-time context-rich insights for climate adaptation. It's a smart, multilingual assistant, making climate information accessible, actionable, and reliable.
Thank you so much, Prasasti and Tassos, for helping us out. So the idea is that the bot can help both academics, the industry, but also researchers in the climate change adaptation sphere, along with policymakers, into making sound decisions regarding climate change adaptation. And I see a great mix of participants today. I see people from academia, from industry, from embassies, Greek or other foreign embassies in Greece. And thank you for being with us. I don't know if we have any questions from the survey that you can actually ask. Yes, we do. So if you go to Wood Club, you can answer some questions. You can keep the link of the presentation in case you want to go back to it at some point. And in less than half a minute, I will be giving the floor to Tassos Kanelos, who will be presenting NEUROCLIMA Lens. And it might seem that the digital tools that we have been creating and developing are separate, but I would say that they actually complement each other. So the climate NEUROCLIMA bot actually complements the NEUROCLIMA Lens that Tassos will now be presenting. Tassos, the floor is yours.
Let's give a little bit of time to the participants to respond to the questions so that we can get a few results. I see that we only have 5 questions. Please go to the chat and click, and you will see the question regarding the NEUROCLIMA bot. At the end of every presentation, we will ask you a similar set of questions. So, and we will leave it on until the next one. So please go to the link and respond to these questions. Thank you.
Responding to the questions is very important for us because we will go back and make refinements to the tools. So please go to the survey questions that Odysseas has shared into the chat. We can have a little bit of more time for you to go through the questions. So Tassos.
Okay, so I can start, I think. Thank you, Christina. So my name is Tassos Kanelos. I represent ITML. That is an IT company based in Athens and in Cyprus. We participate in the NEUROCLIMA project with a technical role. And I will be making a brief demonstration of the early prototype of the NEUROCLIMA Lens application, which is part of the overall NEUROCLIMA digital solution. This application is being developed jointly by ITML and Novel Core, with ITML working on the front-end user interface and Novel Core focusing on the back-end functionalities. So as Yanis previously mentioned, NeuroClima Lens is essentially an application that provides a structured search user interface, which should be familiar to most people. It is something like Google Search or the search functionality within an e-commerce platform, for example. And for our purposes, we use it to search through the curated data sets that have been incorporated into the NeuroClima platform. So essentially, this is how we use the application. We access this search bar here, and we can type a search query, like let's say deforestation. We also can specify a date range that our search will focus on, hit the search button. And at this early release, the data sets are limited. They focus on the agri-food sector with plans to add more sectors in the near future. And currently, the documents in our data sets, they include policy documents, scientific publications, and scientific data. But we are also planning to add more types of data soon, like news articles. So here we can see the results that were returned in response to our query. We can sort them according to their relevance to the search result in a descending order. And then we can open up each of these results to have a quick preview. Essentially, its result is a segment of one of the documents in the NeuroClima datasets that was found to be related to the search query. The title of the original document is here at the top for each result. And the icon at the left represents the type of document in every case. So for example, this is a scientific publication. The next one is a policy. And we also have this tag here that also shows us this information. Now, this is the text segment from the original document that was found to be relevant. And we also see some other essential information like the publication date, the publisher, the authors. We also have a link to the original document that we can access and view. In this case, it's a scientific paper. In the next case, I think it's a policy document. So it's about deforestation-free products, if I'm not mistaken. So if we scroll further down, we have, of course, a list of more results, which are organized into pages. And underneath that, as Yanis pointed out earlier, we have a visualization of a knowledge graph. Now, what this is, it's a visual representation of the results that have been returned to our query, with nodes in this graph representing individual results, so text segments from various documents, and the connections between them represent associations between documents. So this can provide a better understanding of the organization of the information, the relations between the results, and the potential existence of cluster of homogeneous information that the user can explore further to get further insights and perform more refined searches. Just to note that in this case, this is just a mock-up image. It's not functional yet. We are working on this, and we will soon be integrating this functionality in the actual system. Now, if I scroll further up at the left here, we have some filtering options that we can use to narrow down our search. For example, we can choose a key domain area. We can specify a date range where the publication date of the returned documents will belong in, a particular geographic area of reference, and the type of document we are interested in, like news, policies, research papers, and so on. Then if we click on the title of a particular result, we can open up a more detailed view that has the same information and some supplementary information like this citation info here, or options to share the document on social media. So this pretty much covers the features that have been implemented up to this point. However, I would like to quickly show you that some other features that are in the works currently in progress. So this is a preview screen. And basically one feature will be to allow users to store documents that are returned from their searches as bookmarks and organize them into lists so that they can visit them and review them at a later date. And another feature will be to allow users to provide ratings to the viewed documents and leave comments in the form of discussion threads. We expect that this can help other users better evaluate the presented information, and in the future, this can potentially be used to improve the operation of the search engine. And I think this pretty much covers everything I wanted to show. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tasso, very much. I see also journalists in our discussion here in the participants. So NEUROCLIMA Lens, if you allow me, is a very useful tool for researchers, for policymakers, but also journalists, because there's a lot of information out there, but is it reliable? Is it verified? Is it relevant? And is it also timely? Because climate change is a feature, a challenge that we now face increasingly, especially in the south of Europe, and having access to knowledge, especially science related, at the tip of your finger, of your fingers very quickly is very important. So I think we have some questions regarding Lens. You can go to the Wood Club survey and answer some questions. Please vote. While I will be giving the floor to the Epsilon team, Mark Bonazudas and Pantelis Topchis, they will be sharing information about NEUROCLIMA Learn. Just, I think somebody is unmuted. Great. So take some time, answer the questions on the survey while Mark and Pantelis are getting ready to show us NEUROCLIMA Learn. So the Epsilon team, you can start sharing. Mark, Pantelis.
Hello from me. I'm Pantelis Topchis. I will be presenting the Learn, the NEUROCLIMA Learn, which is an LMS platform, a learning management system platform. And it will be, I will showing all the elements that are combined to this platform and how things will be managed, and all the efforts done to for the management system and for the user management, and also a small representation of how we are imagining the way it should look and the way the content should be represented to the user to have a better user experience while they're learning inside this platform. So I will be sharing my screen. Just give me a moment. Just tell me if everybody can see my screen.
Yes, we can. Thank
Perfect.
you.
So this is the NEUROCLIMA Learn. It's an LMS platform. Its main purpose is to deliver a learning experience to the users and not just deliver the content of learning. It's mainly to deliver an experience. This is why there are a lot of tools inside that can create they create this experience, and they can motivate the users to follow the learning paths created and to use them, of course, because in learning is mandatory to to motivate the users. In e-learning, of course, it's mandatory to motivate the users. So now we have a platform. The first thing we can see about the platform is that it's not a platform based on just showing the courses, but it's mostly informational. It can show you everything somebody needs to learn. It can have sections. It can show more things for the user before he even enters the platform. Every user should be getting a username and a password, and then we'll go to, and I will show you the management and how we're planning to use this management. I will be logging in as the administrator, so that can show you everything for this platform. Every user has his own, has the name he has registered, and over here where you have the AU is the picture the user can upload, so that he can have his own picture there. And we have notifications, and so that the users can be notified by educators about new content, about something they have to see, or suggestions about conversations and everything that happen between inside an e-classroom. Here we have the categories, which is the home category, is what we see. We have the My Courses category. The My Courses menu, which will take the user directly to the courses that he is enrolled in, not all the courses of the NEUROCLIMA Learn. And of course, we have the course categories, which will will present on the screen all the categories inside the NEUROCLIMA Learn. But of course, users, depending on how we'll manage them, they won't be able to see all courses, just the one they are enrolled in. So it's kind of a mandatory courses and non-mandatory courses. And all administrators for the user will have a different platform, a different way to manage everything, which is a site administration, where they will manage whatever they can. Now for the I will show you the course categories, which will just have names now, and they have, of course, we can present anything here. And just to explain user management. Now, users will have different levels here. They won't be just educators, administrators, and teachers and the students. They will have different roles. One of the roles will be the category manager, which will be a person that will take an entire category. In this category, we can have courses inside. We can have users for this category, and he can upload content for each course. For example, here we have a category with 4 courses inside, and they can upload and use whatever they want in these sample courses. And also they can enroll users in them, and they can see whatever they want on the users, whatever users did in the courses. Each user now will be in one category, but he can also be in the second category. So the users will have the ability to enroll as students in different categories if they are, for example, courses that they like, they would like to see. That depends on how managers will be managing the courses. One thing I'd like to show in the little time that we have is the way we suggest that the courses should look. Now we have some sample courses that have sections and announcements, but one suggestion that we are making and would like to show you, it's the courses that have sections. Now let's go to my courses, because there I have all the sections that I want. So it's I believe it's over here. In modern LMS systems, it's mandatory to use images and to use pictures. so that the users will be motivated by them, and they will be not motivated but triggered by them to learn something. So here we have a presentation where we can have all courses and all content of the courses inside tiles, inside pictures. Each tile can have a different picture, and its content will have a different picture on it, and it will represent in a different way. And everything will be easier for the user, so that he can also do it from a mobile device if he wants to connect from a mobile device or from the PC, and he will have the same experience when he's connected. And over here we have the site administration for the administrators. Now, where the site administrator users can, administrator users that have the right to administrate things, will be able to control the users, the courses, and of course, all other aspects of the learning management platform of the system. This is from me. I hope I didn't take more time than I was supposed to take for the presentation, because it was a shorter time. So this is the presentation of the platform. It's main, and I'm closing with this. It's the main purpose is of everything, of graphics, of the installation of everything, is to have the users, the students, the person that will be watching this, to want to learn, they will want to follow the learning paths that are assigned to them. This is the main purpose for everything, including the UI, the user interface. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fadeli, from Epsilon team for presenting NEUROCLIMA Learn. In our discussions, I have also understood that teachers, educators can upload their own material in the platform. So, for instance, if you are a teacher or an educator or a researcher and you wish to upload your own course related to climate change or related to the green transition, this is something that you can do free of charge on the platform. And I'm repeating that all the digital tools that we have been developing are free of charge to the public. It's not a commercial enterprise because it's a Horizon funded project. So let me remind you to go to WoodClap and answer a few questions regarding NEUROCLIMA Learn. The link to the survey is in the chat. Please take some moments to vote for Learn. It will help us refine and modify the digital tools that we have been developing with our technical partners. And after that, we will be sharing the NEUROCLIMA Play. Kemi, I think, is here. Kemi, are you around? Yes. So Kemi, take some time to start sharing. In the meantime, participants, please go to the survey. Odysseus, do we have a good turnout? Do we have answers to the survey questions?
It's getting there. We're getting there, but please vote. And I will change the questions as we move to the next tools. Please vote for this. I will leave that open until the end of NEUROCLIMA Play presentation, and then we switch to NEUROCLIMA Play vote. But remember that there is a vote at the end of every presentation.
Excellent. So, Kemi, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much, Christina. So I'm Kemi, and I'll be presenting the NEUROCLIMA Play module, which Infinitivity Design Labs, a research and design studio here in France, is actually leading the task for the development of the NEUROCLIMA Play. Okay. So as Yannis already introduced the component, actually, it's a set of interactive learning models, which are self-paced, they're digital, and they are aimed actually at engaging learners through storytelling and multimedia content. They're specifically linked to one of the objectives of the NEUROCLIMA Climate Project, which is about promoting climate literacy. So educators, the idea is for educators to be able to integrate these models in their lesson plans, class activities, use them as discussion starters, or, take them assignments for their students. At the same time, learners can also, on their own, through the help of maybe an adult, another adult, on a laptop, on a phone, they can also explore the models in their own time as well. The themes of the NEUROCLIMA play, the 6 models actually divided into 6 core themes related to climate change and targeting as well various age groups. We have 2 models on agri-food and forest fires targeting 8 to 13 years. And we also have 2 models as well targeting 13 to 18 years and 2 models targeting above 18 years on energy and scarcity. The idea as well is for us to integrate these models into the gameplay of a physical board game through the help of QR codes, and this is actually currently in development. We're trying to develop the board game, the physical board game, and trying to integrate these models as well into the gameplay activities of the physical board game, just to create like a hybrid digital physical, we call it becomes a phygital board game then in that sense. So now I will just play a quick demo of one of the models so we can just get an experience of how these models actually look like. So please let me know if you can still see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So this is one of the models on forest fires for about 8 to 13-year-olds. And here, the model starts off with a quick topic introduction, introducing the learning objectives, and the learner is able to explore by clicking through the content of the models. Here we have a story character that actually introduces the content, and the learner as well continues clicking and to explore the content on this. For example, here we have forest fires. They go through a quick introduction on forest fires, and they also have a really vibrant multimedia elements as well to entertain them as they're going through the content. As we know, they also have click and review interactions as well here to actually reveal more content on certain topics within the module that you're exploring, as you can see here. And the idea is to make sure that they go through each of the content and actually read through, so they're not able to move to the next screen until they're done with the click and reviews. This is just to ensure that they actually go through the content before advancing on the next slide. So here we also have here like a quick embedded click and reveal as well, which is more depending on the content, it's more optional for them to go through everything for this particular one, because we feel like there are some contents that are important specifically to achieve the objectives, and some are just supplementing material. So we tend to actually differentiate between these two as well, not to make it too boring as well to go through. And we also have this interactions of the characters moving and movement, just to show, just to add a little bit more vibrancy and a lot more entertainment, a little to the content for the target audience actually. So this is another click and review interaction as well that they have to complete before moving on to the next. And at any point while actually going through these models, they're depending on the context, if they're using it in the classroom or with an adult, they can always have exchanges, discussions on the topics that they're actually going through as well. So it's not timed that they have to move on just immediately. They can actually stop at different points and have discussion and exchanges on what they're learning in real time as well. So this is like a map of just that's illustrating some activities that are being done in terms of forest fires and how some countries are dealing with forest fires in their country, to show some best practices basically to the learner on how they can actually help fight forest fires. And finally, they end with a quiz. I think that we move on to, okay, this is for France. Finally, they end the content with a quiz, and just to test their learning while they went through the content. And it's not to basically say, oh, you failed or passed, but just to make sure that just to help them reiterate and kind of close up the learning at the end of going through the model. So this is basically the main experience of the NEUROCLIMA Learn Play models. And as I mentioned, we're trying to integrate these models within the gameplay of the physical board game as well, to make it as well digital in some way and create that digital online offline connection in the whole NEUROCLIMA Play experience. So they have this one slide as well that just rounds up the learning objectives from that model, and they can always restart at the end of exploring the model. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to getting your feedback as well on the survey that will be shared by Odysseus. Thank you very much.
Thank you, dear Kemi. Yes, indeed, Odysseus will be sharing the questions on the Wood Club. So please make sure to go online, the survey questions, and vote. And thank you, Kemi. I think the NEUROCLIMA Play, and it's not just because we have contributed content. I think it's a nice way to visualize and make complex issues more simple and easily to digest for many different age groups. So take some time, vote on Wood Club, and I would like to ask Yanis Efstathio again from Novel Core to present the last digital tool that has been developed, NEUROCLIMA Deliberate. So,
thank you, Christina. I trust you'll see my screen. I will show you now Deliberate, which is our deliberation platform, as I mentioned earlier. The users can join by visiting deliberate.gr. This is the first page that you will see. Of course, there are these two options of creating an account by accepting or by ticking the two boxes. And with the account creation, Deliberate provides the following two options of either registering through Google credentials, that means with an actual account, current account, or with a username and password if the user wishes to do so. And after they accept the terms and conditions, they are then able to join by clicking login. And this is the first page that they will see. This is the home page, and being users, they will see everything that is shown here apart from the dashboard. The dashboard is a section that corresponds to the policymakers, and we will see later all of the details behind it. Now, the first thing that
Yanni, excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have shared the website link in the chat. Do you think that our participants can go online and start the process? Do you think that it's okay if we give them a little bit of time to go on and become new users so that they can see the deliberation platform?
Of course, of course. Everyone
Excellent.
can join at this point by providing the information that we saw earlier. It is a very easy, I think, platform to use, but please let me know if you have any difficulties or questions while doing so. At this point, I would also like to mention that here we have our first topic. As today we are also introducing our forum, that is, how can citizens best contribute to green policy making in times of climate crisis? As I was saying earlier, this window here, the first that the users will see, is a tour guide, and it provides to the users a general idea of what deliberate is, as well as it focuses on some visual elements, for example, what a topic is and what it looks like, information such as the views, comments, and trends which are coming after AI processing, as well as how they can engage in democratic discussion, meaning comment, that we will click in a second, and share this topic with others who are interested by sending the URL. That would be a finalization of this brief tour. Now, as I mentioned, the users can, of course, comment. They can scroll through. The interface can be easily visualized either on a desktop PC or on a mobile device. By clicking comment on a topic that the user is interested in, they see previous comments that have been posted. They can upvote or downvote. They can reply to that particular comment if they wish to do so, or they can post a new comment, which in turn may get replies on its own. We also have information as to when this topic was created, as well as what was the organization or project behind this. And therefore, we have this start a new organization. That is a new implementation. That means people can introduce their organization within Deliberate for other people to identify that and connect if they find it interesting. Now, for each of the topics on the top right side, we can see the status, that is active or inactive. And this is something that the policymaker, as we will see, selects by the time that they create the topic. Here, if you wish to do so, you can have a photo. By clicking on it, it will give you some profile information. For example, your popularity score, that means your engagement, some of the comments that you have made, as well as any organizations that you follow, followers, or that you are in. Your name is below, and we have all of the notifications when people interact with our content. On the search field up here, someone can quickly find material that they are interested in. For example, by writing green, I found 99 results, and then we can also provide some filters as well as particular keywords that come closer to the concept that we had in mind while we were looking for this. On the settings, this is our account settings, where again we can upload our photo. The first, last name and email is only needed at this point. Everything else is optional. We can also change our email, password, deactivate our account if we wish, or even delete our account. We can also change the platform language, provide our areas of interest, and this is something important now because there is a lot of work that we are currently doing to connect people with the same interest to the same topics, for example, and make it easier for someone based on their interest to locate first topics that they would like to see in terms of personalization, and the privacy settings we can change. Now, for the settings of the policymaker, who is the person who is creating the topics, again, we have a search field. We have an advanced search where we can specify the starting date, the ending date, as well as other filters, for example, whether we are looking for a topic, a trend, a particular feedback, or search by polarity, which is a quite interesting feature of the platform. And by polarity, we mean which are all those people who are agreeing to say with a particular topic, disagreeing, or they are just neutral. All of these options can go through this search mechanism. Now, the policymaker can also have an idea as to how many topics have been created, how many total views there have been in terms of the popularity of the platform, how many participants engaged in conversation, how many likes have we accumulated so far, dislikes, clusters. This is also quite interesting because by clusters we mean all of these conceptually linked groups of similar in concept feedbacks, to say, which comprise a topic. The number of total feedbacks as well as the current date. Now there is also latest feedback activity information that we can see. Now the topic that we created today is very fresh. It needs some time for people to participate and also for the AI to process this. Hence, there is no information yet. We created it today, but this is where we can see a graph of cons, pros, and neutral, as well as information for total active users, uncategorized, the number of clusters, and the keywords as well. The policymaker can also be informed regarding the latest topics, and if they wish, they can click on one and get more information. Now, this one does not have much information, but here we will see the trends that I mentioned earlier. That means for this particular cluster, what is the overall opinion? We have 5 cons. Here we have 2 pros, 2 cons, 3 neutrals, along with all of these informative keywords or key phrases that provide a character to this particular topic, if you wish. So someone just by reading this can get an idea what it is about. And we also have this pie chart that graphically represents the pros, cons, and the neutral sentiments, as well as the topic activity with a graph and a timeline of feedbacks. This is also something important for someone who would like to keep track of what kind of feedback they have so far and when those occurred. I promised to you earlier that we were going to also see the actual deliberation. So when the policymaker would like to start a new deliberation, they just need to go into the dashboard section that is again only provided to the policymakers. Click on the top right-hand side on the new deliberation, and that's all that is needed. They provide a title, a URL HTTP that needs to be an HTTP that corresponds to the URL image that they wish to provide, enter the description, and of course, what is important here is to provide the duration. In other words, the time window that the topic will be active, that we saw earlier, for the people to participate. Then they just click publish. And with publish, it appears here. The policymaker also has this users view where they can check all of their users by the region. For example, here we have from Greece, from Cyprus, Spain, etc. These are also graphically represented along with how they change through time, the usernames that the users provided, and they also have their settings, again, like the users, to provide information about themselves. Help Center Something that is also important, and I would advise everyone to have a look on this, as it can help people, first of all, to resolve a problem. So anytime someone is expecting technical difficulty or has some other question, please feel free to message us here. We have the corresponding data protection notice, and we also provide information as to what are those AI operations that are performed. For example, as we saw, we are generating trends, trying to understand or group similar feedbacks. We use for that opinion classification. We are also using argument mining. So again, the user will see information about this, summarization, and the clustering policy along with the cookies policy, excuse me. I believe this is all that I have to tell you today in terms of the futures. This is now a new organization, as I mentioned earlier, a new feature that can apply a particular organization or project to a topic. So we select here that we wish to do so, whether it is a corporate, organization, government, or media. And we provide the name, logo, email address, official website information as the link if we wish to do so. And again, the areas of interest for personalization and profiling purposes. The most popular keywords are also in the view of the policy maker, where they can have an idea as to what are those messages that are most popular and going through all of the topics that have been created so far. Here they can also get the most recent clusters analysis with the summary, so they don't really have to visit if they wish to do so. They can get an idea of what this topic is about with the title, and again with the corresponding keywords or key phrases. As I'm aware of the time, I would like to thank you everyone for attending, ask you for your feedback. As for us, it is very, very valuable at this time.
Thank you so much, Yanni, for the presentation of the platform. I have been using it, and it's a great, if you're a policymaker, it's a great way to start a topic and get policy recommendations based on AI, but also on real-time citizen participation. If you're a citizen, it is great to be able to contribute to the discussion and be part of the policy making process. So please go to the platform, please register, please play around. If you're a policymaker, you can start a new organization and you can start a new topic for yourself. The one that we have created for today's session is the topic on how citizens can best contribute to green policy making in times of climate crisis. Please go in, comment, like, dislike, play around with it. And in the meantime, I think that Odysseus has actually updated the questions, the survey questions on Wood Club. So please.
Yes, we are in dialogues now, yes.
Okay, so please, go to the survey questions, answer them. We will be sharing in an email the recording of this workshop and also the links to the YouTube presentations, but also to the Deliberate platform. So you will have everything in one email. So I don't know if there's any question from our partners before we go on to our next steps and wrap up the session. So I will be giving the floor to Berta from SEPS and to Ines from Kata. to tell us about the next steps, because we have been creating the digital tools, but now we will be asking for your engagement in pilots. Berta, Ines, the floor is yours.
Hello, so I'm Ines. So Berta is here to help me in case of course, if she wants to add something. So I'll just share my screen and put it in presentation mode. Okay, do you see it? Yeah.
Yes,
Can you
good.
see it? Yeah. Okay. I'll pass the slide. Is it passing?
Yes, it's great. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. It was just to confirm. Okay, so I'm Ines. I'm here on behalf of CATA, an agro-food technological company based in Portugal. And we are here because we are overseeing the pilots in NEUROCLIMA. So before going to the pilots, I have a question, which is actually the main question we should ask at this point, which is why should we care about climate change? And of course, this impacts a lot the engaging, of course, we will have in the pilots. So this is just a funny thing, but also serious. So everyone loves polar bears. So, but the ice is melting because the temperature is rising, and scientists, it's already known and proven by science that, of course, the temperature is rising because of the natural behavior of the planet itself, but the way it's rising so fast, the rates are not normal and are never happened before. So, of course, there's the human impact. So we have, of course, things to do. So regarding polar bears, this is just an example to engage and care so that people care about, because everyone loves polar bears and they are starting to suffer. For instance, the ice is melting and it's like sticking to their paws, causing severe pain. And apart from this, they are also getting difficulty in finding food. So they are getting hungry. So, but if this is not sufficient to care about climate change, I have another reason. So we just have to look around. So every year that passes in the world, in Europe, we are breaking records, temperature records, fire records. So, and this year, this is like, this is coming, the statisticals coming from this summer, 2025, from June 23rd to the 2nd of July. And it shows the amount of deaths in the cities across Europe related to climate change because of the heating. So our cities are not prepared, we are not prepared, our society is not prepared, and people are suffering. And it's becoming a normal thing to have temperatures above 40 degrees. And if this is not sufficient, I would mention the flames and, of course, together with the extreme heat that we had this summer. And for instance, Portugal and Spain, we broke records in terms of area that was affected by flames. So we are destroying our forests, and the cycle is getting worse. And if this is not sufficient, so, well, when we read the fairy tales when we are children, when we are a child, we like to hear about magic forests. And of course, we still have this kind of magic forests, for example, Amazonia, the rainfall forests. But they are also disappearing because, of course, the forest is getting damaged by several reasons, but also because of climate change. So it's part of our childhood dream and fairy tales. It makes us all feel good, hearing the sounds of nature and looking at being in forests. But I don't know, will we leave these special places for our children in the future, our grandchildren? So if this is not enough, so we all, of course, this is not a judgment, but we are all in the same boat, and we should think about how we will leave the world for our children. And this is not, if this is not enough, I would say that let's talk about coffee. So without it, mornings can actually get rough. So, and everyone, most of the people like coffee. So, and yes, climate change is making it scarce. And of course, the prices are getting higher. So that's also another reason to care about climate change. So with this small introduction, I will not take much more time, I promise. But so right now, in the last few years, we have, when we watch the news, we watch social media, what's happening. So we see that the climate information is very varied, and there's a lot of information. And sometimes there are fake news regarding the climate change. And for instance, let's just look at the example that we are now seeing in the United States. I mean, the denial about the climate change. I mean, of course, it's there. It's no longer, climate change is no longer about predictive models. It's about it's happening around us. It's there. So there's no way to deny it. And we should look at all this information around us. And of course, sometimes it's hard to filter and understand what's real and what's not real. And that's why NEUROCLIMA comes with the solutions that our partners have already nicely presented before. So I would like to present you the pilot one. This pilot one, we will have 2 pilots in total. So pilot one will be intended to target policymakers, journalists, and content creators. So we will be launching pilots in 5 countries in Europe: Ireland, Belgium, Portugal, Greece, and Cyprus. And we will use the NEUROCLIMA bot, the NEUROCLIMA lens, and the NEUROCLIMA dialogues so that policymakers, journalists, content creators can get reliable, verified information, and that's so they can pass to the public, pass to the citizens, and know how to pass this information in a way that the public will be engaged, in a way that they will care about it. And that's what NEUROCLIMA will do. In very short words, will give you reliable information, all verified sources, so you don't have to look. So it will filter for you and also help you engaging people in a very, let's say, I don't know, attractive way. So then we have pilot 2 for educators, students, artists, writers, citizens, for instance. So, and this is about giving information, involving educators to provide information and using the NEUROCLIMA solutions so that they can help us raising the awareness about climate change and how to respond to their students. So we will involve all these people in a way that if people get the right information, they will be empowered to do the right decisions and do the right, of course, behave the right way in order not just doing preventable measures for the climate change, but also surviving the climate change. So making us more resilient. So this pilot 2, similar to the first pilot, will also involve 5 countries. So it will be Ireland, Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Cyprus. So, and these are the tools: the NeuroClima bot, the NeuroClima lens, the NeuroClima play, the NeuroClima learn, LMS platform, and also a toolkit for creative writing, theater, and cinema. So finally, we have here a QR code. So if you want to help us testing the NeuroClima tools, please sign in for the pilots. There are just very general questions. And then we will, of course, get in contact with you if you provide us with your email or phone numbers. And I'll leave some seconds more so you have time. We also have here the link. And I'll just like to add that this kind of participation, we might think that it's, I don't know, this kind of actions, sometimes we might think that we are losing our time, and it will not have real impacts. But this is like the theory of the drop in the ocean. I mean, one drop seems to be nothing, but many drops will make a wave, and many waves make an ocean. So each one of us should do his own part, and in NeuroClima, we want to add our part as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ines, for showing the pilots. I don't know, have I interrupted anyone?
I just wanted to say, if Berta wanted to add anything, just please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you everyone thank you everyone who's still connected now. My name is Berta Miche. I work at the Center for European Policy Studies, CEPS. We're an independent think tank based in Brussels. And I think I just wanted to underscore why I think this project is so useful, because it can seem like, oh, sometimes it's just another digital platform. Sometimes it's just another, couple of pilots talking about climate change. Building on what Ines was saying about why climate change is important, I also wanted to reflect on the fact that there has been declining political interest in climate change, especially in the EU regarding the Green Deal recently. We can see this in the most recent draft version of the multi-annual financial framework. This is a huge issue. There have also been reports and speeches coming out of the European Commission that say they think that climate change and related policies aren't a political issue, and because of this, they shouldn't be debated at, for example, European citizens panels. I think this is highly untrue. It is already a political issue. It can certainly be debated by citizens. And so I think these kinds of pilots where citizens and policymakers and content creators and journalists at EU level and at national state level interact are really important to keep these sorts of initiatives alive. My motivation for being this sort of project is saying that, okay, even if this is not being done, if the work into keeping this momentum for climate change and climate adaptation isn't being done by policymakers, then we can do it. We have the skills, we have the technology, and I think, not to put too fine of a point on it, but I do think this is up to us to a certain extent at this point. And I'm willing to answer any questions or help out if anyone needs. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Berta. Indeed, we see that there is, of course, a backlash regarding sustainability issues. And we see the non-dominance of green transition, climate change issues in public discourse at the European Union level, but also at the national level. And this is very disheartening, especially because the challenges and the effects of climate change is now seen everywhere. It's not something that, would happen. It is already happening. Climate change is here. So this is why this project that we have been working on is becoming very important, because it stands at the nexus of policymaking and citizen participation with the tools that we have been creating. So I urge you to to register yourselves for the pilot projects that we will be running in different countries for different groups of professionals. If you're a journalist, a content creator, a policymaker, a researcher, there is a pilot for you. And before thanking you for participating, just take some time, if you have already not done so, answer the remaining questions at WordClub. And we will be sharing this recording. We will also be sharing the links to the pilots, to the demos, to the Deliberate platform, but also we will be having news on the following workshops for the NEUROCLIMA Forum. And with that, I would like to thank my fellow presenters, all the speakers from the partners that presented the tools today. I would like to thank you all the participants who participated and engaged in the survey, but also on the Deliberate platform. There's still time to, you can definitely go on the Deliberate platform and play around, create your own topics, or even go back to previous topics and provide answers or provide comments. And we will be looking forward to seeing you again in another workshop, either a physical one or an online one. Thank you so much, everyone.